Hello there. Welcome back to the Cinema Asylum podcast. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Today we're going to be reviewing Venom: The Last Dance. I'm Dyllan, one of two superhero and sci-fi experts. The other one's not here, though. Nerd.
Because he hasn't seen the movie.
Yeah, what a butthole.
I am Garrett. I'm the Indian drama expert.
I'm Paul, the horror expert.
I am John Johnson. I am the action and animation expert and huge Spider-Man fan.
Yeah, I was going to ask. You were the one that was most interested in how you thought about this movie.
Yeah. I had so much fun rewatching all the Spider-Man movies leading up to the new one. I had a great time doing that. So, yeah, we're doing Venom: The Last Dance. That's the main review. Now, I didn't know if you wanted me to go first or if you wanted to go first since you're...
Do we want to go spoiler-free at the start?
At the start, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
wait,
let's just go around the room like this.
okay, sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun rewatching all the Spider-Man movies leading up to this one. It didn't do very well in the USA, but globally, it did fabulous. It made $175 million total. So
I think a lot of that is due to apparently China or one of the some Asia, I guess, loves these Venom movies for
Yeah.
some reason.
yeah.
I'm not sure why exactly, but they
Oh, I know why.
they nearly drove the first Venom to like $1 billion when that came out.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was very close to being $1 billion film. The
Hmm.
first of its kind nearly got the record until a year later Joker actually crossed it. So,
Yeah.
but keep going.
But I know why they love it because it's Venom and it's Spider-Man's biggest villain. So that's the reason why they went to go see it. So I'm not surprised. So yeah, going into this movie, I was expecting dumb, awesome fun like the first two. Now I'll give my quick reviews out of the way of the first two Venom movies. The Venom movies, the first one, it's stupid. It's dumb and stupid, but in a great way, and I love it. I loved it for what it was. I was very skeptical
Okay.
about it because I thought to myself, Sony Universe, really? Which I'll complain about that later. But it made $800 million, and I happen to love the movie, which I was pleasantly surprised. Let There Be Carnage was, for me, a little bit better than the first one. It's still like the first one, like ridiculous in all its way, but the story was a little bit better, and Woody Harrelson as Carnage doesn't hurt. And he was great. I love him as Carnage.
Okay.
So going to The Last Dance, which, by the way, I love the title, by the way. Venom: The Last Dance. That might be the best movie title ever, at least for me anyway. It reminds me of how many times we heard The Last Dance. At least 2 or 3 of them said The Last Dance.
Yeah.
So that's pretty funny. So I was expecting to see this movie to be dumb, awesome, fun, and I got exactly what I wanted, dumb, awesome, fun, and I love this movie in all of this ridiculous ways. Now, is the plot great? Absolutely not. The plot is not good whatsoever, but you know what? I don't care. For me, Tom Hardy and Venom's relationship has always been the best parts of these 3 Venom films. I love the action. I love the visuals. I still think it's very fun. The third act finale, which we'll get to later, love the third act finale. I thought that was very fun and crazy and ridiculous, which I personally enjoyed. I thought the other characters were very fun. They don't bring a lot to the story, but you don't really care because you were just here for the Venom action, and you got your Venom action. You got what you wanted. There's so many hilarious scenes that we'll get to in a moment. Oh boy, we got a lot to say. But overall, I had a fun time watching this movie, and I loved it for what it was. It's not a comic masterpiece. It's not going for the comic book perfection. It's really not. If it's fun, it's fun. This is my turn off my brain and enjoy enjoy my kind of film.
Yeah.
Which why can't you do that, Garrett?
Because I
Oh.
want
I'm
because
just
I want
wondering. Come on.
because I
God
want
damn.
movies to actually try harder.
Not
Is-
fair.
Okay, sure.
No,
So
yeah, no.
I am not a fan of these movies. I am not really a fan of any of these Sony Spider-Verse movies that they've tried outside of the live action ones, of course. You can't even compare the actual Spider-Verse movies to any of these. Just the fact that they came from the same studio. Yeah, when I saw, well, when I first heard that they were doing the first Venom movie, like the Venom spin-off, I was like, okay, maybe they can actually try to do something like pretty like dark, like Logan did, where they go like maybe R-rated, maybe they kind of do it like a body horror type of thing, and maybe actually take it seriously and to do it better than what Topher Grace was in Spider-Man 3. Um, and then I heard how much Sony was interfering with it and turning it like originally Venom was only going to be in like maybe 10 minutes of the goddamn movie. And that was like early reports and stuff. Like Venom it went through like a bunch of changes and I was like this movie's going to be a disaster. And then like all the trailers came out I was like okay, Venom is going to be like the forefront of this. Um and I saw the movie and I was like I hated this. When I first saw the Venom one, I really had a bad time watching it, while everyone else apparently was having a good
Ouch.
time with it. I thought it was boring. I thought the comedy was weak, and it was just not my thing. I hated the villain. The villain was so boring, and I think these all three of these movies have a huge villain problem, but we'll get to that. I think I kind of I enjoy the whole Tom Hardy and the Eddie Brock and Venom thing more with each movie. That's kind of like the only thing that really saves it for me. Because I think these movies are a terrible usage of Tom Hardy's acting talent. I mean, he's fun to watch, and he's
Ouch.
fun. He is an amazing goddamn actor, and he's so much more than what these movies are using him for. I mean, watch him in the Charles Bronson movie that he was in. The man is Oscar caliber, and the movie Warrior,
I need to watch that.
which is
It's
amazing.
amazing.
He's
I bet.
absolutely
I'm
an
gonna watch
incredible actor, and it seems like he's doing like the Johnny Depp thing, where it seems like these are the Eddie Brock role is what he's going to be remembered for, and that's so disappointing to hear.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's fun to watch in them, sure. It's just I I I don't like that side from Tom Hardy nearly as much as like when he actually really goes for it and he's actually taking it seriously. Um, yeah, like I said, the Venom thing is is the kind of like the thing that keeps me from hating these movies because it's enjoyable to watch for the most part. It's just I cannot give a shit about the stories in any of these movies or the other characters. Even when the movie really tries to make me care. And that goes a lot for the Last Dance. I enjoyed thoroughly the Eddie Brock and Venom dynamic. I thought that was for the most part very fun to watch, and I was laughing for the majority of their scenes, but uh, could not give a shit less about Chiwetel Ejiofor in this movie. I couldn't give a shit about Juno Temple. Those two are amazing actors, and the movie. This is one of the worst paced movies I've seen all year.
Yeah.
I can
Um,
respond
the
to that
pacing in this
one.
movie is ridiculous. Like it's so quickly paced to the point where I don't know what to really care for, what to think of each scene because um I'll get more into that with the spoilers because
Yeah.
I have several examples, but like I don't know, I just whenever it cuts away from Eddie Brock, I just had a really tough time caring, really, because it just felt like it was either taking itself way too seriously
Yeah.
or it was uh like a like a Abbott and Costello movie, which I enjoy the Abbott and Costello part more of these
Yeah.
movies. And I just don't like when these movies actually try to take themselves seriously. And I think the Carnage one, which I still don't think is that good of a movie, but it seemed like that one had a more consistent tone. I was like, okay, this is clearly a B movie. We're just gonna have goofy fun with it. And
Yeah.
this one, while I think it is not, I don't let me say, I don't hate The Last Dance. I don't think this is a terrible movie. I think it's very average. Like, and I just feel like the tone is just way off in this one. I feel like either it is trying to be like this huge emotional send off for these characters that I just don't really care for, or it's just really being super goofy and super chaotic, which I'm fine with. I just don't think it's the right balance, and yeah, those are my basic thoughts.
I was going to
Okay.
respond to the horrible pacing thing.
The pacing is
I-
awful
Yeah,
in
no,
this.
it is.
I'm sorry.
It's like
that-
every scene goes by so quick. It's like, do you want us to like have a feeling? It just feels like, I'll get more into that.
Bro,
but
I'm sorry, but the last Sony Universe movie they did this year, months ago, had a worse
Honestly,
pacing
if
than
you-
this movie. It's not even close.
Madam Web is far, far, far worse.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
like, I think the pacing of that film was slightly better in that, because it just with this
It
one,
did kind of flow a little better.
that one
That's crazy.
it,
No.
it flowed better, but everything else was
yeah,
awful.
yeah.
But
it wasn't great.
I mean, this film is infinitely more enjoyable, but
Mm.
like, I don't know, it felt like every scene was just going by the best scene of this movie for me was when it actually slowed the hell down. It actually allowed the characters to like breathe, and that's the moment and that you kind of see in the trailer with Risa Fons and that little truck and that little
Yeah.
car thing. That was the scene I enjoyed the most, just because they were just they weren't like running around all over the goddamn place.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah.
Paul, did you have any thoughts
No.
before I went? Okay. Yeah. I guess since we're all sharing our thoughts about the first two movies, I didn't quite care about the first movie when it came out.
Neither did I.
It was
That's totally
kinda
fine.
just- Well, like
Well,
liked
critics
it.
are not really fans of these movies.
No,
and
but
I'm
fans,
more-
but
I'm-
fans loved it.
I'm
anyway.
more on the
They don't
critic
even
side.
care what critics say.
Well,
I'm
that-
more
that
on the
was-
critic side with these.
That was the thing. The general consensus that I was seeing when Venom came out was it was a lot of it's all right.
Mhm.
Like, it's not great. It's not anywhere near what what MCU was doing at the time.
Oh God, no.
Like it was.
Because
Everybody was like, yeah, it was all
2018,
right.
2018, in my opinion, might have been like the Marvel's like peak year.
Yeah.
I mean, Infinity War, Black Panther, even except for the Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I did not.
I happen to
I did
love
not
that
ca-
movie.
That was
There are a lot
that
of
was
people
their
that
weak.
don't.
That was their weak
Really,
link that
I
year.
didn't speak to one person
did
that
not.
didn't like that movie.
I did not care for that one. But I mean, yeah, coming from the highs of that year and Spider-Verse also came out like a couple months after Venom,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we
incredible. Yeah,
and even Aquaman came out that year, and I really
Yep.
enjoyed
Damn, I
that.
forgot about that.
yeah, loved it.
Venom for me was just the weakest link that year when it comes to like the comic book movies.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I could totally see that.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Mm.
But I
No,
still
yeah, no,
I still
I agree
enjoyed
with
it.
that. Yeah. I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
I do. But it's I don't know. It was all right. It's definitely grown on me the more that I've watched it, which I've only watched it like a handful of times. But I was excited for Let There Be Carnage,
Yeah,
with the exception of Woody Harrelson
Mhm.
being casted.
I was. Oh
Not
yeah,
that I, not that I
Really?
don't like him. I think that he
the
is a good
post-credit
actor.
scene scared the shit out of me with that first Venom. It was like, this is
Yeah.
Cletus Cassidy with this fucking clwn wig on.
Yeah. I was
Oh
like,
my
okay,
god!
we're
Thank
totally
God
fucked.
thank God they fixed that with Let There Be
Yeah.
Carnage.
Yeah, I was super
I
nervous about
I was
that.
laughing hysterically when that the first time I saw the first Venom and that scene came up with. Oh my god, I couldn't take it seriously at all.
Yeah, the entire.
And I love
car
Woody
ride home.
Harrelson so much.
Yeah, well, I think that he did well with the role in the second movie.
I feel like
I was a little surprised by that.
I thought he was having fun. Clearly, I just
Yeah.
feel it didn't use him enough for me.
No, that was my issue with Leatherby Carnage.
Mhm.
I didn't like the villain in the first one.
Yeah.
I
He was
just
so,
didn't do a
and
whole lot
that's a
for
good
me.
actor too, Riz
Yeah,
Ahmed, and
yeah.
he was so boring. He had no personality.
He was just like generic greedy
Yeah.
businessman, and that
Yeah.
was it.
hmm
Leatherby Carnage, it
It
got
had
the same
it had a
treatment,
lot
the
more.
villain wasn't
It had
there, but yeah, it had a lot.
it had more
fun.
self-awareness of what it was, and that's
Yeah,
why I enjoyed it more.
I wish that they would have just given him more screen time, because
Mhm.
if they would have done
Yeah.
that, I think that Leatherby Carnage would have been a better movie.
hmm
Because
And
it
also,
was really a case of like he was just like constantly doing things. He
yeah,
wasn't really
yeah.
doing anything other than like killing people.
hmm
Yeah.
And also Shriek was the side villain.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, I hated her, and I love what's her name who played her?
Yeah, I'm forgetting her name.
God damn it. I love that actress. Completely wasted her, and
Yeah.
she's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did not care for her, but overall, I thought Let There Be Carnage was enjoyable for me. Enough, enough at least.
Yeah, I really liked it. Honestly, I think that's one of that has one of my favorite third acts.
The third act was
in,
fine. Mhm.
in super movies. Well, it's
It was better than the third act in the first one, because the third act in Venom 1 was so dark,
yeah,
and both the symbiotes were black.
yeah.
And I just couldn't really tell what was happening. I
Yeah.
was just watching a bunch of CGI shit just glooping around, and I don't like that.
Well, one of the things that like makes the third act of Let There Be Carnage better for me is the
Interesting setting.
yeah, the setting. There was concept art that came out. I don't really want to say what the concept art was. If you want to find out, go find out. But it showed a lot more of the thought process behind that fight, and like symbolism and stuff like that.
Right.
It's super interesting. I recommend everybody go check it out. But like that kind of heightened the end fight for me. I was like, there's like so much other shit could have gone in here.
They could have gone
And
bigger.
this is what we got.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever read Maximum Carnage, but
Yeah.
that is a huge story,
Yeah.
and I kind of wish that they took more advantage of that stuff. But you know,
Yeah, no,
so at this point, I'll take whatever I can get from Sony.
as long as it's like hasn't been in development hell for
Yes.
6-7 years.
Honestly, Kraven the Hunter might be a masterpiece compared
it
to
could
what
be,
they've
yeah.
been putting out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From the trailers
I'm
and
a little
stuff.
more excited for this movie after the second trailer. Which
Yeah.
I was very surprised with that, and it's also because I played Kraven the Hunter in
And it's rated
Marvel
R,
Spider-Man
it's
2,
good-
which
they're-
is an amazing video game.
And it's
Love
gonna
it
be
so
rated
much.
R.
Yeah.
They're not holding themselves back, which honestly, in my opinion, Morbius and these Venom movies should have been rated R. And
Yeah,
that's
it should have been, yeah. I
but
feel
Could have
that's
helped,
a
yeah.
colossal oversight on their
But
part.
kids,
I don't know if able to help Morbius.
gotta get
but
that kid money, I
Venom,
guess.
yeah, sure.
But no, but going to Last Dance, it gave me the same general feeling as the last two.
hmm
Here, I like seeing the influence of the villain more throughout the movie.
Oh
Which
God,
we'll
we haven't
talk more
even
about the
gotten
villain
we haven't
later.
even gotten into Null yet.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Oh, I'll get to that too.
But I like that we were seeing like what he was doing more throughout. You know,
I guess.
like you could see like he was playing the game even
Mhm.
if he was as removed as he was. I like that. I think that was nice. That was one of those things where it's like that the amount of effect that he had on the story should have been given to Carnage in the second movie. Because
can see
Carnage was basically just in the fucking background for most of it.
Yeah, that was one of my big problems with it. Was like, it doesn't seem like that. This is like that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's not like linked up whatsoever. Yeah. I like that they did the opposite here. Like he was like shit was in play. Like he was an
Mhm.
active participant throughout. But it was.
But
nice.
I think it should have been more though. Like
Yeah,
for what
well,
they were
yeah.
going for.
But with how they're building, I feel okay talking about this because this shit has been plastered on news sites for the past
Oh,
like,
yeah.
2 months. But they want to make him like
The
the big bad,
Thanos.
and this was like Thanos at the end of Avengers for
Mhm.
them. And
Yeah.
like, that's why I was okay with the screen time that he ended up getting, which I was surprised by that. I genuinely, but for the rest of the movie, like a lot of the same thoughts that you had, I thought that the pacing wasn't great. We had like 6-minute scenes followed by like a 25-minute scene followed by
my
3,
God.
and then like a 6, and then another 10, and it
Yeah.
was crazy.
I mean, thankfully this movie is like really short.
yeah.
But it does feel like they tried to turn
All the movies
like,
are short.
Yeah.
but this one feels like they tried to turn like a 2-hour and 10-minute movie into like a 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like they want to make you think that a lot's happening, but none of it really feels like it's getting a lot of development.
Yeah. I don't know. It definitely feels that way. I definitely agree with that.
I'll say this: it's a harmless movie. It's not offensively bad like Madam Web was, or it's not like it didn't bore me as much as the first Venom did. It's just a fine movie, and there's really not much else to it than that.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fun when it cuts away from Chiwetel and Juno.
I just could not give a shit less
Well, like,
about them.
I like Juno's character. Like I thought that she was good. Like the way that they introduced her.
It was just so weird to me. That whole thing was just weird to me.
It was a dream sequence. It was explaining.
But it's like
like it set
what
up
I
her
what I don't
character.
like what I don't like about that is like for me it's better introduce like getting to really know a character better over the course of a movie instead of forcing all of their backstory into like the first moment you see them. That's what I don't like about that. I was like, if you want to maybe explore that character more like throughout the course of the movie, if this movie feels very front loaded, and that's one of my biggest problems with it. It's just like it feels like it has to force all of the shit out in the first 20 minutes, and I just feel like they should have done it that way better. But that's me.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked it. I thought that was good.
Yeah, it's fine.
I liked Reese Pons in this.
He was. I don't know
really
why they casted him in the first place. Like, I guess it's just really confusing. Him and Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's just. Did you not have? I feel like anyone else could have played that role aside from Chiwetel. I don't think he really brought anything to it that someone else could have. I mean, there wasn't a lot of material on the page for him anyway.
Right. He was pretty two-dimensional.
And I mean, Reese Vons was really good in this.
Yeah.
It just feels weird to me that they went with him, even though he was in another movie in this franchise. But whatever.
I mean, apparently it's not connected. I remember seeing that.
I know it's not connected, but it just seems weird to me. I just don't really see the point of that. But aside from that, he's very good in this. He was one of the funnier characters in the film, aside from Eddie Brock and Venom.
Yeah, I want to get to one of my favorite, because he had my favorite line delivery.
Oh yeah,
movie.
I know. I think I know what it is.
Yeah. He said that was the biggest laugh in my theater.
Mhm.
It was great.
Mm-hmm.
No, other than that, it was really good. I don't think there's a whole lot of other things I.
Yeah, I
say
think I
about it.
got all my non-spoiler thoughts out.
Yeah.
So we can get more.
I think
into
you're right.
spoilers.
I will say my last thought before we get into spoiler territory. Sorry, is when you said that like it was a lot of Abbott and Costello, you were right on the money. No, that's exactly what it is.
all
and
these
I
movies,
fucking loved
all
it.
three of these movies were.
Yeah, no, I really dug it. I liked their dynamic in this one way more than all the other ones. It just felt more connected.
I agree. Yeah. I agree with that.
It gets better in each movie.
Yes, yeah.
Because I didn't
It's
really
progressed.
I didn't really feel that in the first one. I felt it more in the second, and in this one I was like, okay, this is clearly what we're going for. So
It's a trilogy of buddy cop turned lovers.
Yep.
Yeah. And to be fair, Tom Hardy is a better Venom than whatever they got in Spider-Man 3. Yeah. As much as I love the movie,
true.
that film is a mess.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's a
And
beautiful
I don't
mess.
I don't like the Venom design in 3. He's just so scrawny.
I thought the design was
Venom
fine.
should be big, and Venom
Yeah.
was kind of just pathetic in Spider-Man
Yeah.
3.
I thought the design was fine,
And I
but
don't
prefer
like the
Venom
roar.
design
And this
that
is
one.
this is a nitpick. I don't like the roar either. It sounds like a velociraptor either too.
Yeah, it was
doesn't
kinda
have that
weird.
menace. It doesn't have that menace to it. But oh, and one more thing. And I just thought of this. What I wanted out of the first Venom movie when I originally saw it was the movie was actually in another movie that has nothing to do with it that gave me exactly what I wanted from Venom. And this comparison's been made a lot in another 2018 movie, Upgrade. I don't know if you guys have
Okay.
seen this movie. It's
Leigh Whannell, right?
Lee Winnell.
Lee Whannell, sorry.
This
I
movie
saw that post
Upgrade
about that.
is awesome. It's so damn good, and it's everything I wanted the first Venom movie to be. It has that same kind of thing where it's a character who's talking to a voice in his head, except instead of a symbiote, it's like a AI voice, and
Yeah.
it's making him stronger and doing all the fighting for him and stuff like that. It's like an indie kind of take on what Venom tried, and I feel like Upgrade was my type of Venom movie that I wanted.
Yeah.
Like it's darker, it's R-rated, it's gory, it has more interesting characters. If you haven't seen Upgrade, watch it. It's
Yeah.
badass.
I totally
It's
should.
great.
I totally
Lee
should.
Winnell's camera work, chef's kiss. Love it.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I read a post something about that one.
It's-
and I thought,
it's really
that's
good.
It has a
interesting.
lot of
That's
similarities.
interesting. I still have not seen the film, which I definitely
Did you
should.
see Upgrade, Paul?
No.
Ah, you would love it. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I think I would love it too.
Upgrade's
Yeah.
awesome.
I can't wait to watch that.
More people need to watch that. I saw it in the theater too, and I was like, people need to see this, and people in it, no one did apparently.
Now, as we get into spoilers, here's the tricky
Yeah.
part. What can we spoil? Like,
Hold
how-
on, hold on. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Movie just
alert.
came out.
spoiler.
Three,
I mean,
and three, two, one.
But what can we spoil though? Like,
I mean,
what-
Venom
there's
dies.
nothing to spoil.
Venom
kind
dies.
Of, what kind of part are we getting here? Like, it's another Venom craziness. That's
But-
what it
Does
is.
Venom die?
No.
They want you to think that, but like post-credit scene, apparently there's this. Okay, so in the third act of this movie, you get a whole bunch of symbiotes running around.
Yeah.
And I'm not heavy into the comics, so I don't know if these are like other like from the
Yeah,
comics.
they
these,
are. They are. A lot of them, yeah.
like what are some of their names? What's the green one? What's the green one's
I
name?
can't remember.
Um,
Because I'm not super into the symbiote family. But like, there's like 4 that roam around.
isn't there a yellow one called like Scream
Yeah,
or something?
yeah,
I think she was in there,
She's
right?
supposed to be Screech or Shriek.
I think Shriek is in Venom 2. I think there's a yellow one just called Scream. I think because we in the first one we had Riot. Obviously he's not in this. What is what?
What happened?
What?
I'm sorry. I looked up Shriek Marvel, and it's popping up with the Wikipedia for the character, but it's got pictures of Shrek.
That
Dude, I had to
Oh
double
my
check what I
God.
fucking typed. I was like,
That
no
is
fucking way.
hilarious.
did I just see that? Did I literally
is
just fucking
hilarious.
see
Okay.
that?
Oh, dude. This is
Oh my
fucking
god,
great.
dude.
I
Okay.
didn't know Shrek was a Marvel Comics supervillain.
He should be.
That's insane.
But yeah, can we can we get to the
Shit,
craziness
okay.
part? Like the one thing that I need to get into, the one thing that I find hilarious, which actually there are a lot more things that got me laughing, was where he was transforming animal venoms. Like
That kind of thing.
that cracked me up.
That got a little old for me after a bit. Like honestly, it's funny at first, and I feel like a lot of that was just shown in the trailer, and then they just kind of it's mainly done that one like action sequence with the horse, with the fish, with the frog, all that stuff.
Yeah,
I
we're
loved
playing
it.
Leap
I
And
thought
then
it was hilarious.
the end credits had all the different symbiote animal designs, and I feel like they wanted to put those all in the movie, and they're just like, we'll have to put these all in the credits.
Yeah,
And-
which is it was dope.
It was cool.
I liked it.
It was cool.
Like a venomized elephant is badass.
And like a symbiote kangaroo or something.
Yeah, yeah.
That was cool.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
in the end
laughed when I
credits.
saw the
In the end
penguin.
credits. Yeah.
Kangaroo's
Yeah.
already terrifying enough.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
kangaroos.
Wait. Yeah.
Fuck you up.
Hey, Sony, that was
Yeah,
a
what
missed
is the-
opportunity.
yeah, what's
a
the name of
venom
the
elephant.
Green
I want
symbiote.
to.
Yeah,
That
I'm
would have
look-
been
I'm
cool.
looking at it
A
right now.
venom elephant. I would have
Shrek,
liked to see.
apparently.
I would have liked to see a live action venom
Holy shit,
elephant
dude.
on the screen. That would have been cool. But I enjoyed.
I
what
like
it
the
was.
horse bit. The horse bit was entertaining.
Yeah.
Toxin.
Toxin. That's
Yeah.
that's
Toxin's the name.
it.
But yeah, that
Yeah,
one
I-
would just crack me up.
Yeah, the third act I thought was okay. It's a standard like big CG heavy third act action sequence, but they do some fun stuff with it. Then so the big danger that they have to fight in this are these xenophages
Yeah.
that Null sends out, and they're basically unkillable.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Like they try to kill these things throughout the movie, and they just can't stay down. And then it takes like Venom to literally like symbiote, like turn into a giant symbiote and like
Yeah.
wrap around them into this big
He
mess
like
thing,
absorbed all of
and
them.
then like get like that what was that green stuff, like just
Acid?
toxic waste or
Yeah, it was
acid.
acid. Yeah.
And it's supposed to make you think that that's the big ending for Venom, and I mean until like the post credit scene, that's one of the things I don't like about the ending of this movie is like it really hammers that whole like it thinks it's like Furious 7 with this big like emotional montage of like the clips from the previous movies with Maroon 5 playing over it.
Yeah.
It's like this is just so melodramatic. And I just didn't really care. I'm not emotionally invested in these characters enough to have that whole like it's not Furious 7. This is not like an actor we're grieving over in the character, you know. It just felt heavy.
But of course, there were two post-credit scenes. But I want to get to the other one later because that's what
Yeah.
I'm actually frustrated.
One of
by.
them is just, to me, just
I know.
pointless.
I'll get to the frustrating part of that one later and why it's stupid. But yeah, but there was that one, but the rest of it was just it's craziness all over the place. Okay, I don't know what to tell you throughout the entire time when I was watching the movie. Like, okay, the Venom's plan or the villain's plan, excuse me, having all these symbiotes that have to be going on. Like, I wasn't expecting award-winning screenplay. I was just expecting
I
dumb fun.
I was not either, but there's a way to do dumb fun well, and I feel like these movies are not it. There's a way to do that well. I just don't think
I thought the acting was the best one of the trilogy.
yeah, it's fine.
I thought the acting was really good throughout all the actors.
I mean, all these movies have good actors. I just feel like they waste them
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
The alien family. Really? The alien family
They were
searching for
great. Leave
aliens?
them
I like
alone.
that. Those are my favorite parts of this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh no! I said no. I was
easily.
laughing at it because I enjoyed the characters. That's why I was just thinking.
Okay.
Really?
That's
We're
the
going to that part?
I wish the entire movie was like the scenes with that family, like
Yeah.
a goofy, like quirky comedy. But
Yeah, and
a
it's
lot
still like a
the
touch
military
apart.
shit, I could give a fuck less about.
Yeah.
I don't care
It
about that
is a little
stuff.
cliche. Yeah.
Like, why do I care? Why do I care so much about Juno Temple's character, other than we got her backstory hammered
that
home?
seems to be very cliche in all movies.
Oh,
is the
it just-
military parts.
I just didn't care.
Almost all the movies they
And-
have military parts.
Um,
No disrespect to the people that serve their country. We salute
Right.
you.
Absolutely
Right.
no. That's not even the point I'm making
no,
here.
no,
It's
no.
just they don't do enough to make us care about that whole subplot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
it had
me,
it has nothing to do with like caring about the military. I don't care about that shit. It was just like, ugh.
Make the people interesting for Garrett.
Yes. Not just for
military
me,
interesting
but
movies for Garrett.
yeah. And can we talk about Null?
Yeah.
Just super disappointed.
This is what I expected. I thought it was
I
fine.
mean-
like this,
Oh, boy.
like
Okay.
with all the reports
First of all,
the fact
waste
that
of
he was
Andy
going to be a
Serkis.
big bad. I don't think it was a waste of Andy Serkis.
Mhm.
I mean, dude's the king of fucking motion capture.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad it was Andy Serkis. I think he's got the fucking chops to pull off.
and he
Nolan.
directed the last one too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think he's great. Like, I don't think it was a waste here.
Oh boy, I was gonna save this one for last, but if you're gonna get me to know, okay, this is where I'm asking myself, what the crap are you doing, Sony? Okay,
Well, I want to say first,
Sure.
this is different than what the comics is.
Absolutely.
Than what's in the comics. Like,
Yeah.
this is different.
yeah, but here's my biggest issue I have with No and with the mid credit scene. First off, you're setting up No to be the primary villain for the Sony universe, which spoilers, he's the villain. Two things.
Barely as a presence.
Two
though.
things.
Yeah.
Number one, no crap. Secondly, I never heard of you, so I don't care. So
Only you also didn't like Gwen Stacy's death, so.
actually,
I know you've changed. I know.
absolutely, I did.
Mhm.
Which does lead me to one thing. At this point, I'm starting to think that the Sony universe, it was already a mistake to begin with. Like
Yes.
the Venom movies, I thought they were totally watchable for what they were.
Everything
but,
else though, Morbius, Madam Web.
Yeah.
Morbius was okay, but you already know how I feel about the other one.
I thought I
but,
was bored out of my
no,
mind.
It
this
was
is
fun to laugh at.
honestly,
Both of them were.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The credits scene, I was very disappointed because there were two things I was hoping they were showing the post-credit scene. Two of them. One was that Beyond the Spider-Verse was almost coming, which was a long stretch, but I was hoping for that. Or the announcement of the Amazing Spider-Man 3. I was
They're not
hoping
gonna
for
do
those
it,
two.
I feel
was
like.
hoping for at least one of those two.
Yeah, because they're
And
dumb.
yet they
won't
said,
do it.
guess what, guys? We have more coming in the Sony universe is No. Who?
But
Why,
who's
who
gonna fight?
cares?
Who's gonna fight him though? Like
Exactly. Who
'cause
cares?
the Venom stuff is done as far as we know, and apparently Tom Hardy said something he wants to do like a Logan style Venom movie.
Yeah, which was
That-
weird because
that's
he was like,
not
"This is
gonna
it."
happen. You can't. Okay, first of all, comparing Venom with anything that Logan did, fuck off with that. Logan was a character that we grew to love for like 17 years,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
you're gonna compare that to freaking this Eddie Brock? Get out of here with that. Tom Hardy, I love you, but
Yeah.
that's never gonna happen.
I thought The Last Dance was a Logan. And
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
everything has said. Everyone has said this is gonna be the last movie
Yeah.
with Tom Hardy as this character. Just shut up. We don't.
I took it as like this is going to be the last Venom movie.
But
Like,
he did.
I think he's coming back in other places as Venom.
But what's he gonna do?
I'd be on board with
I
that.
don't know.
I'd be on board
I don't
with
know,
that.
but I mean, with that post-credit scene, I think that Venom is returning to Eddie. Somehow, I think he's going to find him. Unless they go with the fact that that's like Venom's
Just-
like
this is-
baby.
This is what I
I
don't
don't
like.
know.
This is what I don't like about comic book movies in general. I can never trust when a characters never stay dead, and
No.
that's just I never feel the stakes of that ever when they try to do it.
But
Um,
yeah, but the whole No thing, like Sony, I told you in one of the episodes, you need to stop doing the Sony universe after the Venom films. At this point, Sony, you're not the MCU.
Mhm.
You certainly were not the DCEU, even though it did have its faults
Uh-huh.
for the DCU.
Yep.
But at this point, the DCU is a lot more forgiving than what Sony is doing. Like, if the No movie is not good, which honestly, I'm sorry, I am not confident in the No movie it's going to be good.
Unless
I
he's
am
gonna
not
be-
confident at all. But if the No movie is not good, I'm tapping out. I'm
Unless
tapping out
he's
the
gonna
Sony
be
universe.
like the villain in Spider-Man 4, which they've kind of rumored, like Noel's gonna be involved in with the Tom Holland stuff. It was like,
Mhm.
how's that legally gonna work out if like they don't, if
I
they're not
have
gonna really
no
allow?
freaking clue.
So wait, just to clarify, did they announce a Noel solo movie? Or...
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything.
Okay, so
there might have
Not
been a rumor
not
somewhere,
a solo
but-
one, but like
So,
Yeah, they've been saying that he's going to be like the big bad, like the
For
Sony
what
Spider-Man
characters,
universe.
though?
That's
Like,
how it's going to end.
that's my problem with it. Is like, for what? Like
Exactly.
fucking Madam Web or Morbius?
Oh God.
Well, I
we're
mean, they're
definitely
gonna
not
continue
getting more Madam
introducing.
Web
Of course not.
or
but-
Morbius.
Yeah, even though Jared Leto wants that so badly, but
Why
Jared
though?
Leto.
Why? Why? But yeah,
But-
but just like,
I
I'm
d-
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah,
no,
keep
I
going.
was just gonna say the only thing I can see logistically is, and I doubt they go this route, but Spider-Man 4 we know is coming out.
Of course.
That's my birthday movie.
Mm-hmm.
For
I can't
2026.
I can't freaking wait.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
be good.
it's gonna be really
Absolutely.
I
good.
hope. I
It
hope
could be-
so.
Or,
The
well,
only thing,
it sounds like it's being
It,
rushed.
it has the potential to already be my number one favorite Spider-Man movie. When I already said that for the other newer Spider-Man movies,
They've
I
g- they've
love those
got-
that much.
They've got a high bar to set after No Way Home.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
bet they could do it. But anyway, go ahead.
I feel like that is the most obvious choice for.
But we don't know that for sure yet.
Yeah.
if he-
Right.
If
True.
that's even gonna happen.
Either way, I think that it, as of now, it seems to be the most logical choice, and then possibly even Tom Hardy showing up there.
But- Without the Venom, because I don't. Oh my God, my head hurts
They
thinking about
made it-
this.
they have made it way too confusing by
Yeah.
having two separate universes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's this whole thing is
Yeah,
just a
the whole
fucking
Sony Universe
clusterfuck,
thing,
man.
it was just such a
And
stupid idea.
the only
to
thing
begin
that
with.
really has worked with this universe are these Venom movies, and I guess they're just not gonna happen now, or they're gonna just retcon everything,
Yeah.
which is gonna be stupid.
Which actually, I have a suggestion. Okay, instead of Null being the main villain for these Sony Universe movies, which again, if the Null movie is not good, I'm done with the Sony Universe movie. I'm not watching another one after this. Like, boom, I'm done.
Well, there might not be any more after that.
Honestly,
But
I'm not sure if it's even gonna happen now. I mean, if
I
this
don't know.
if this Venom movie, if The Last Dance has legs, which I doubt it will.
I think it
honestly.
will. It made
I don't
175
think
million,
so.
so
I have trouble believing that this even makes 500 million. Because
I think
you-
I think it will.
I
I
don't
think it
know. I just feel like because audiences are not as enthusiastic about this one as they were with the other two. Coming off the cinema score, which is like a B minus, and the other
Yeah.
two got like a B
Not
plus.
terrible, but that is
Not
pretty
where
low.
you want to be for like a mainstream comic
No,
book
not
film.
really.
Um,
But yeah, but I will.
and it's a grade, only one grade above Morbius and Madam Web, and that's not where you want to be either.
Well, at least it's got a
Um,
better grade than those two films. So.
barely.
But what I was going to say was, I mean, if you're going to make another villain movie, which there's more funny scenes in the Venom movie I want to get into, but if you're going to make a villain movie, I have a suggestion. Mysterio could be interesting.
But they already did Mysterio.
Well, I want to see a Mysterio origin movie.
That's
I
gonna
would've
be
been a lot
so
more interested in
that's
that
gonna
one.
be so confusing to people.
Not
I mean,
for me. I rather
but
watch
you're
that.
not the casual. You're a hardcore fan. You're not the casual viewer. You
Right.
know?
Right, but I'm just saying, I would rather prefer Marvel villains that I would recognize over Null, like any day. Like, maybe do an origin story of Green Goblin. That could work too if they wanted to,
We have
but
that.
the thing is, with this universe, like they're putting something together, they have to have a big bad. The big bad can't be like somebody who's on the same level as everybody else that's
Yeah.
already got in a movie. That's where they're
I just-
bent over a barrel, is because like
Yeah.
there's no like big bags that they have exclusive rights to other than Null.
Yeah.
Like Null is a Venom villain. It's not a Spider-Man villain. It's a Venom villain. Like this like
okay,
legit,
I
that's
was
his villain.
unaware of that. I was unaware of that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a full fucking thing. Like the King in Black was the storyline in the comics, which I just want to say for a second, like I'm a little
just-
bummed out that we're not gonna get get him arriving to Earth the way that we did in the comics.
Yeah, they really kind of screwed themselves up with this.
Well, like the comics, it's he started in or like his like the coming of Null began in the Thor 2020 series, and it had this. It was
And
called
apparently
the Black
that's
Winter.
where Gore the God Butcher got his sword from, canonically speaking.
Not the 2020 series. Or
Oh,
no,
okay.
yeah, no, because it was an extra
I've-
sword.
I
Yeah, yeah,
read
yeah.
that
It was made by Null. It was one of. I think that was the first creation.
Mm.
I can't remember, but it was. It was called the Black Winter, because this like void of blackness was reaching out to worlds, like the entire multiverse, and it was decaying them. And it was really cool in the comics. And again, like I know it's not going to happen because this would never fucking happen. But like in the comics, there was like to show how grand this threat was, they showed the world of DC Comics being destroyed. No, like legit. Like they showed the red blue blur flying through the sky past like the news building with a like golden orb on top, the red streak going through the streets and stuff like that. And they both reference each other in the comics like all the fucking time.
Yeah.
But it bums me out because like it was showing you how big of a fucking threat this guy is.
I
Like,
didn't really
this
feel
guy's
the
a big bad.
I didn't feel the threat much in this movie.
No,
to be
because
honest.
that's what I'm saying. Like reading the comics when you're
Yeah.
introduced like to like this dude is gonna fuck
in
shit up.
in a movie form, you have to work a little harder to show that menace than how the
Yeah.
comics would.
This was the taste of it. This was because this it was basically like, oh well, all he can really do is send these fucking creatures out.
Yeah.
That's all he can
like-
do. We didn't see anything else that Noel can do.
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
dude
that's
is
my
fucked
problem.
up.
We other than sending those things out, what else can he do? It doesn't show it.
Well, I mean, it's because he's imprisoned. I mean, he can't go anywhere else.
Yeah, whatever.
So like he was super limited in the movie. That's why I'm okay with it.
And that-
I understand the criticism.
I think
Yeah,
I think my head's gonna hurt.
Yeah. It's just-
Sony, you are confusing me at this point. Oh my god!
like, I'm gonna see how Craven is. Other than that, I could give a fuck less about this whole universe.
Well,
I'm
they're
with
gonna
you there,
persist.
yeah.
They're gonna continue with what
They're
they're
gonna
doing
keep
because
trying
they got
until-
Morbius, which failed twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Which,
Let's
why in the
remember
world?
that.
Why in the world
I'm
did they
surprised-
re-release this movie in theaters? Why? It's
I'm
so
surprised.
dumb.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't try that shit with Madam Web.
Yeah,
Because
same.
because of how much people were memeing on like the Amazon River, or that whole thing. I was like, yeah,
But
I can't remember that quote. I wish I could.
they're
It's
smarter they were smarter than I gave them credit for.
Yeah, they learned their lesson.
Mhm. I was working at an AMC theater when Morbius came out and when the fucking re-release happened, and no opening night, literally 1 or 2 people showed up to it.
Did it make
honestly,
like less than
I
$1,000?
now I kind of wish we had that Sinister Six movie from.
I would
Sony.
honestly take that over what they're
Yeah,
doing right now.
exactly. I mean, and I watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I watched it last week, and I love it even more when
I still don't think that movie's good.
Oh,
but,
I think it's awesome. I think for me, it's an
there's
underrated
good
comic
things in it.
masterpiece. I love that movie a lot. I started to love and appreciate this movie a lot more, even with the Gwen Stacy stat. It got me more emotional than it got me angry. So, gotta get credit to for that one. But Sony, they butchered this 3 times. Well, it's been more than 3 times now.
Yeah.
They tried to set up a Venom movie after Spider-Man 3, which made no sense. He died at the end of Spider-Man 3, so what the fuzz was that?
Symbiote. But
Well, still.
something
And
could
then,
happen.
of course, they tried to set up Sinister Six after Amazing Spider-Man 2 when they announced it before the film comes out.
Yeah,
That was dumb.
mistake.
Which,
yeah.
And they were getting.
Oh,
Does
Sony.
anyone else
Oh,
remember when they were
gosh.
trying to seriously do an Aunt May movie?
I totally forgot
What the
about that.
fuck?
seriously,
Wait,
Paul,
what?
that's a real thing.
That's-
yeah.
that's-
They
Yeah.
tried to make
Sony
Aunt May-
was trying to do a dead serious an Aunt May movie, an Aunt May spin-off movie.
I thought it was a joke at first. I was like, no, it's real.
And how does anyone defend Sony? How does anyone defend Sony?
I don't
I'm
know.
serious.
I don't
Exactly.
know. You
I'm-
won't
yeah,
catch me doing
that was
it
my
unless
reaction
it's
too.
Deserved.
They get everything that they deserve.
You can respond. Go ahead.
You have no words.
How do you feel, Paul?
Completely flabbergasted.
Exactly. His reaction, like that.
Exactly.
Which Aunt May?
I think the Sally Field one
Yeah, I
from
was gonna say.
Amazing Spider-Man. And
Great actress, not the right choice for Aunt May in my opinion.
I really
Yeah,
liked
I
her.
thought
As,
she was
I
good.
really
I
liked
liked
her
her.
as
Yeah,
Aunt
I liked
May.
her too. Yeah. I
Um,
thought she was great.
I thought she was a good balance between the Rosemary Harris one and Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, same.
If it would
yeah,
have been Rosemary Harris, I probably would have still at least watched it.
If they
Okay.
would have
She
made
was great.
the movie
yeah.
about
I
her.
gotta get
Like
to
it's like it's trying to be like an Oscar like drama without any literally any superhero shit.
Yeah,
I
you know
don't
what?
Where would they have even? Where
I
would
d-
that have gone?
Yeah,
Just
I
no
don't
one
think I
Completely
would.
knows.
remove the superhero aspect. Like we see Peter show
They
up a
just-
couple times.
They
but it's
just
her
see
life.
IP. That's all they see. It's just
Yeah.
that's all they see. They don't give a shit about anything like that. So
Oh no,
boy.
no, it's a what? Here's an idea. They make the Aunt May movie, but it's about Aunt May and Uncle Ben before the accident, and the movie ends with the accident. That sounds like it come from Sony, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But
Does
I-
anyone remember? By the way, does anyone remember the Max Steel? There was a Max.
Oh
Steel movie.
yeah, I never
I
got to
s-
see it.
This movie played in theaters.
Yeah.
And it looks so.
I didn't.
I didn't
I didn't
see
even
all of
bother to
it.
watch it.
I just saw. I think I saw like half of it
yeah.
because I was working at the theater at the time. Oh my god! Literally, it's like, it literally is like this Max Steel movie. Imagine if they made a Spider-Man movie where Peter's just fucking around for like 2 acts of it. This third act, he gets bit by the spider, and then the last 10 minutes is him actually being Spider-Man. That's what Max Steel is.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Shush,
Fuck.
Matthew. Shush.
Fuck
He
that
said it's a
movie.
great movie. No, it's not.
It's awful.
I just looked it up. I was about to faint on the floor.
It
It
looks-
said it actually was
the
made
poster
by
is
Sony,
awful,
and thank
too.
God it wasn't.
The poster is awful too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to get to one more quick thing, and then we'll get to our scores.
Well, mean,
I have
we've
something,
got all
one
the
more
things
thing to bring up
yeah.
too, but go ahead.
Okay. Oh my gosh, the dancing queen sequence.
That was fun.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
I liked that.
enjoyed
That
that
was
scene too.
goofy.
It was great. I mean, Venom and also that lady.
Mrs. Chen.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but that dancing scene,
She's-
it was so
She's
fun.
actually literally the random side, like extra character that is usually tossed, like not even mentioned in most superhero movies, is one of the bright spots of this trilogy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how sad this is.
Yeah, but that's all I have to say. And Sony, you are a pain in the butt. Seriously, I can't stand you right now. Are you still so bitter because you don't have the rights to Spider-Man anymore? Is that why you're so bitter and making this Sony universe?
Even though
What
they
the
literally
fudge
just,
are you doing?
even though they, in the post-credit scene of Carnage, they literally showed Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity for him to fight against Spider-Man.
And
I
then,
think
Ugh.
it's bullshit
and then
that
that
they changed
whole,
that shit.
and then
in
that
this
whole
movie.
thing meant nothing.
Yeah.
it
it
meant
meant
absolutely
fucking drastically changed it.
nothing.
And that's what I thought seeing the trailers for this scene Che would tell Edgy for, because he's obviously Baron Mordo and Doctor
Yeah.
Strange. It was like, is this like a alternate version of Baron Mordo or something? And like he's
Yeah, I thought that it was just gonna be a multiverse variant or something.
but no, it's not.
No, I know.
It's
I
not
know.
at all. Yeah,
like that.
yeah. In case you were wondering if that scene in No Way Home with the post credits meant anything, it didn't. So
Nope.
don't
No, it
get
did
your
not.
hopes up.
Not
No,
yet.
that doesn't matter. No, that's not connected, because he wasn't in the MCU when he had that scene. He wasn't in the MCU. He was in the Venom universe.
Oh my god.
The symbiote was
This
still left in
shit
No Way
makes no
Home.
sense.
It's just the symbiote
It
was
doesn't
also
make any
there
sense.
in the other home universe.
Hey, Venom
it was like
said
a leftover piece. or
Venom still
something.
wants to
That's
fight
what he called
Spider-Man.
it.
I'd be on board, but I have a
They're
suggestion.
not gonna do that, man.
Oh,
No, they're giving him the symbiote. They're giving it to him.
I want to
He's
see
gonna
him
get
fight,
it in Secret
I want to see him
Wars.
fight against Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. As much as I would love to see Tom
That would
Holland,
be them if they were
I'd be
actually
excited for
smart.
more Amazing
Yeah.
Spider-Man content if they
That
do
would
that.
be them if they were
Okay.
actually smart. And well, guess what?
Yeah,
But
Yeah, we
Oh
need
my
Amazing
God.
Spider-Man
man,
3.
I wish I could give the
I
middle
would- I
finger
would
to
love-
you, Sony, but I can't do that.
I would love to have that right
Oh,
now.
God.
I'm never gonna get it.
No, unfortunately not.
One more thing about why I hate the pacing of this movie so bad. The Sony logo comes up in this movie. Then it cuts to a super quick scene of Noel without any buildup at all. Literally telling us his plan in like 30 seconds. It goes to the Marvel logo, and then it tells. This is what I hate about screenwriting. This is terrible screenwriting, by the way. They literally tell us Null's plan in this brief little opening scene, and then we get a scene later on with Venom and Eddie telling us exactly what they just told us in that opening scene, verbatim. Like, they did tell us this twice.
Yeah.
If you're going to tell us something, do not tell us this twice. Screenwriters. Jesus Christ. I hate that shit.
You know what it felt like to me? It felt like a teaser trailer for an upcoming Null movie.
Seriously.
That's what it
Why
felt
was
like.
that there?
I didn't think.
Why was that opening scene there?
I don't.
That had no business being there at all.
I will say one thing that I do appreciate about like that I like the imagery that they use for the codex.
Whatever.
Well, I like it because in the comics before the King in Black, before that storyline, like
Yeah.
Null arrives and all that shit, Carnage steps up his fucking game and he actually starts removing codexes from people's spines. Like in the comics, it's if a symbiote bonds with you, you have a codex. It's just like built into the DNA of your spine.
Mhm.
And so like he was going around and he was like ripping people's spines out Mortal Kombat style, and he was stealing their codexes to become more powerful.
And Venom is kind of stupid in this movie for transforming at just the worst times and
Yes,
getting
agreed.
himself in trouble with that.
Agreed.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, also, Paul, if you ever, what I said about that screenwriting thing, telling us shit twice when once is enough. If you do that in one of your scripts, I'm gonna get mad at you. I'm gonna tell you about it.
I can do it 3 times.
Just try me, bitch.
Want to make it 4?
if there's any one person that said, "Oh no, actually meant something to the plot of this movie," no, it did not. You are absolutely
It's-
crazy.
He does, but it's. I
Null's
mean,
fingerprints were the entire conflict of the movie.
He hardly did much though in
he
that.
just
Yeah,
sat
but
in the
it was
movie. He
his
just sat in the
creations.
cha-
That
he
it was
just
his
sat in the chair
fingerprints.
for the entirety of the movie.
Yeah, it's the same thing as like Thanos was partially behind the fucking attack in the first
But
Avengers. It's the same
but
thing.
the first Avengers movie didn't show Thanos throughout the movie.
No,
though.
I know.
Loki was purely the main villain, and
Yeah.
it was.
I'm so much pain right now with Sony. I'm having there's a new disease now. It's called the Sony disease.
And
That's what it is.
and
It's
another
a Sony
thing,
disease.
these movies don't even compare to the quality of the first Avengers movie. So,
Well,
no.
I'm just saying aside from
I
the
can
fact
see
that
where
Noel
you're
was
coming from,
present
but
present
there's
all throughout, yeah.
there's differences. There's major differences.
It's
so
the fingerprints. Like the impression is there. Like he is there. It's just like third party.
yeah,
Yeah. But
This-
here's the good news though. Andrew Garfield said he is interested in doing more Spider-Man movies.
But it's probably gonna be in the Tom Holland stuff, like how they did in No Way Home. They're not gonna do more movies with him at Sony. It's gonna be for like the MCU.
I believe they will.
It's gonna be in Secret Wars and all that stuff. It's
I
not gonna
believe
be.
they will. I think they'll get it
I
done, and then they'll do it. And I'd be on board. with it.
Amazing Spider-Man 3. You'll think they'll do?
I believe they will. I believe they will.
No.
I think there's a chance of it. I don't think there's a high chance of it.
Possible and probable are 2 different things.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I pray that Sony.
I
you
feel
get
like
this
you're
right.
having blind optimism is what you're having right now.
I'm just saying.
It's admirable.
Yeah. Which.
How Hollywood companies work,
Yeah.
highly improbable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I.
We're more likely to get Tobey Spider-Man 4 than that. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I honestly,
You know what?
yeah.
I'd be on board with that too. Yeah.
I think that
Oh,
they
no,
all
I
deserve
wouldn't-
one
I
more
wouldn't be
movie.
fine with that one.
Yeah.
But
Tom
God
Holland has another
Almighty,
trilogy,
we might
supposedly,
as well.
so-
God Almighty, we might as well get the scores before things get chaotic.
Go ahead with your
This is
score.
going to turn into a meme after all of the reactions and all these polls on him. Because you can see, people, my mind is so confused at this point, and I just can't stand Sony's work business.
Your reaction to the Aunt May movie is gonna go viral.
Yeah, exactly.
John's or mine?
yours. Because yours
you,
is so
you had no
speechless.
idea that this was a thing.
I didn't.
I knew
never
about
heard of
this in
it.
2014. This was a thing around the time that Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out. Before the movie even came out. Like, I'm serious. They're
Yeah.
that clueless. They're
Yeah.
that inept at what they
But
do.
then again, I'd rather watch anime the movie over a Noel film or anything like
no,
that. But
I
then
Why?
would not. I would
Why?
not.
why?
very curious.
Because this Sony universe is completely stupid, and this one had a lot more promise. Now, after what they're doing this year, and oh god,
So what you're saying is the enemy of my enemy is my friend, is what you're saying.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
The Sony was not being done back in
Oh,
2014
God.
than they are now. Okay, anyways, on to the score.
Go ahead with yours.
Yeah. Even though it's not the greatest movie, I still give it, for entertainment value, I still give it a full 10, even though it's not perfect.
Jesus Christ.
I'm giving it full 10. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. Hate me
Okay.
all you want. I don't care.
I
That's
don't
your
hate
choice.
you. It's yours.
Yeah, that's
It's
your
just-
score. And that's how
God,
much you enjoy
you
the
and I are
movie.
so different, man.
I know.
You
I know.
have to have a weighted medium. It can't just be enjoyment.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
I
Yeah.
try to
let
make.
him just score it how he wants.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fine.
Every
I'm not-
movie would be 10 out of 10.
It doesn't matter.
Not
That's how he
every-
wants to
I
score
didn't give
it.
every movie a 10 out of 10. I gave Beetlejuice a 9.5, so not a full 10. So I didn't
hated
get.
that
I didn't
movie
get.
so much.
I loved it. I
It
mean,
was great.
like enjoyment level, but that movie has flaws, but
Yeah.
You can see
I
why
love
I disliked it. I can see why you liked
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
and I love the original, and yeah.
Yeah.
What-
But
Anyway.
yeah. I mean, there's a difference between giving a letter and a number grade. Like in like an entertainment value, it's a full 10 for me. If I was enjoying myself, and I did enjoy myself, so there you go. That's why I give it a full.
I
10.
look more at like the more objective quality is like I as much as people like to tell you that art is subjective, there is a lot of truth to that, yes, but like art shouldn't just be entirely looked at as subjective. There's techniques to it. There's objective qualities and there's been years and years of practice in all this stuff to make it what it has become. And there's a reason why so many people use third act structure and 3-act structure and all that stuff because it works. And I just feel like these movies just do not do it for me at all. And I'm like I said, I don't hate this movie. And for my grade, I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. There's stuff to be enjoyed in it. It's just there's so many stupid things in this movie that should have been looked at. And I for being like the epic conclusion that they probably wanted for this trilogy, I just couldn't care less. So
Yeah.
I'm sticking with a 5.
Okay. I don't know. I liked it. I liked a lot of things that they did with it. I definitely see all the flaws. I don't see all the flaws, but I see the major flaws. And I agree they are major flaws, and they definitely damage the movie. But overall, I did really like this. Honestly, I like to just remember the Venom plot of the movie. Like I thought it was great. That was my favorite part. Like I thought that those were the highlights.
Eddie,
Oh.
we need more money.
I like this machine. Just like flap the head.
Oh, that scene was
I
great,
liked
too.
Yeah,
I
it was
liked all
awesome.
that. I liked all those parts.
Yeah.
Those dumb stupid parts
Yeah,
that were
yeah.
funny to me.
No, I liked it a lot.
Venom genuinely had a lot of like gut busting lines. In
Yeah,
this
yeah,
that-
he did.
What do you put?
I like
Matthew to
chocolate.
shame?
No, Venom was actually funny. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Burn!
fucking
Burn,
burn!
bitch. You missed it. Never mind.
I said to Garrett, I said, how did I say it? Does Venom put Matthew to shame? And he said, no, Venom is funny.
Gotcha, bitch.
was
Matthew's reaction was going that he was going.
Gotcha.
Sorry,
I
Matthew,
think a
but
little
the
piece of
facts
Matthew
are
just
facts.
D's nuts. Got him.
Oh yes.
Hey, Matthew.
And
you
Batman
can score. Hey,
Batman and Robin is more funnier than you two.
when the time comes, you
Hey,
can
that's
squirt
going
me.
too far.
You could squirt me for the squirt bank.
Yeah, because you only have like 1 or 2 points. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
But anyway, what's your
Go ahead.
What's your score?
Score.
Out of 5?
I think if I had to give it a score, I would give it 16 out of 19 Venom inches. or I'm sorry, 16 out of 19 inches of Venom. Miss Chen would definitely take all 19 though.
Wow. So that means you liked it.
Yeah, I just like double what my regular score would have been 8. No, I liked it. Yeah, it was
Hey,
good.
there we go.
I was down
I'll
with
take
it.
that. I'll take 8. Oh man.
But I had to make a
19.
reference. This is the only opportunity I'm going to be able to make a reference to that fucking tweet from IGN.
Wait, I missed this. What?
Okay, so when Spider-Man 2 was releasing, they released a special edition with they released a statue of Venom
Okay.
from the game, or supposedly from the game. But
Uh-huh.
when they said it,
Oh, nice.
they said, "Would you take 19 inches of Venom?" or like to some degree, that's what they said. Like it was worded similar.
Superman is coming in Supergirl.
Yes, it was like that. It was one of those. Yeah.
Mm.
And then IGN had to fucking remove it. And so everybody was making jokes. I think that later there was another statue that came out that was like 22.75 inches of Venom or something like that.
Oh.
that Supergirl thing got allowed.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, I liked it. 8 out of 10, 4 out of 5, 16 out of 19 inches. However you want to take it.
Yeah.
I don't want to
I
take
can't-
it.
I can't.
I
can't-
don't think that I can take it because it took so long to make it. And
I
I'll
can't-
never
I
have
can't
that
wait to-
recipe
I'm sorry,
again.
guys. I didn't mean to
I
call
can't
it
wait to
this.
watch this back so I can see that review.
Yeah.
Aren't we trying to behave ourselves?
Man,
Hey, you guys made it worse. I
is
was
true.
still being relatively clever.
Yeah.
Relatively.
But then
Oh,
again
boy.
though, if Matthew saw the movie and he said all the Venom puns, it would make the review actually be worse. Anyway, thank you for watching.
last thing I'll
Shut up.
the last
Thank
thing I'll
you for
say
watching.
about this movie, if you loved the first two, I think you'll like this a lot.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
This
Clearly
delivered on
I
the
didn't.
feel. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Clearly, I
But
did.
thank you so much for watching and
uh,
listening.
Matthew, as the the other superhero expert, do you want to close it out? Since you had no presence? Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you so
Are
much.
you still gonna see this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
He said
Oh.
Tuesday, ladies.
Okay.
Hey, to our certain swinging dudes out there, Matthew will be at the theater Tuesday.
Thank you so much
I've
for
heard he's
watching
gonna be
and
out back.
listening of all this chaos and also bashing Stoney into pieces. We hope you enjoyed
deserve
that. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you comment down below what you think of the movie. We'll love to hear your thoughts on it. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Threads, on Facebook, on Instagram, which thank you so much followers for following us.
Yeah.
Please go check out our channel. We got more fun content very soon. November is almost coming, and we got big things
Man.
coming up next month. We can't wait.
October, where'd you go?
I know, it's crazy. But yeah, we're about to start our recording, and whenever we do our Scooby-Doo thing, it will be uploaded to this as well. So that's all I have to say. So anybody else have to say before we sign off?
Potato, potato.
There you go.
That's how we're in it.
God
All right,
bless
see
you.
you
I
guys.
want the Aunt May movie now.
All right,
Happy
see-
spooky season, everybody. God
Happy
bless.
spook.
We have been the Cinema Asylum Podcast. You guys were awesome. Thanks for coming out. Good night.